Hello students, hi, I am back with the second video. Let me start from the time I stopped last time. This is slide number 16. Now talking about the Baldrige organizational profile, this is to learn how the Baldrige organizational profile addresses the basic characteristics of the organization, that is relation with competitive environment and the advantages an organization has and the challenges that it faces. Now, a list of key questions that helps an organization summarize the elements of an environmental assessment. That is what it means by the actual profile needed for that. It provides a frame of references to help organizations better understand the internal external factors that shape its operating environment and set the context for a strategic planning. Now, what happens is, as I told you earlier, we have seen what is Baldrige and what are Baldrige areas. That is, how it makes the appreciation for an organization to be in that category of Baldrige criteria. Now, this kind of strategical enforcements of external internal factors and the importance of environmental operating is what is we talking about here. It addresses the basic characteristics of the organization, organizational relationships, the competitive environment, the advantages an organization has, and the challenges that it faces and its approach to performance improvement. Remember, improvement, that is very, very important as far as Baldrige organizational profile is concerned. And the textbook talks a lot about Baldrige organizational profile. You can just browse through your book. Again, you have it in your virtual source also. And then it talks about external, internal areas and the other important things. But here, this slide talks about the strategic challenges. To appreciate that strategic challenges, which refer to those pressures that exert a decisive influence on organization's likelihood of a future success. That is, those pressures means that makes those important decisions decisively, that are, for example, as you can see here, operational cost, expanding or decreasing markets, mergers or acquisitions both by organization and by its competitors, economic conditions and the clinical nature of cyclical or clinical nature of the importance of how those important industry can make. That is, cyclical means in any kind of industry how the strategic challenges makes its importance. The introduction of a new or a substitute products or services, rapid technological changes, new competitors entering the market, and so forth. So here, the steps of strategic development leads to strategic objectives and action plans. Thus set that direction for the achievement or achieving the mission. This challenges to become aware that the key practices are effective, and then those important key practices, as you can see in a case of another company example given in your textbook, if you can open the textbook, that is strategic challenges at North Mississippi Medical Center, where they are talking about people, services, quality, financial and growth. You can understand the importance to become aware that key practices are effective strategy planning include active participation by both top management and lower management of lower employees, a stronger customer focus, supplier involvement, and well-established measurement and feedback system. So here, developing these strategies, we can understand now how to make more kind of strategies that are broad statements or strategies in that set the direction for the organization to take in realizing its mission and vision. Strategic objectives are what an organization must change or improve to remain or become competitive. Action plans are things that an organization must do to achieve its strategic objectives. In this particular areas, strategic deployment or deployment is another place where how this developing strategies are deployed. Now, as you can see in this slide, objectives and action plans, and then how they are deployed. Now, the strategic deployment, to learn that strategic deployment refers to developing detailed action plans. I repeat, to learn that strategic deployment refers to developing detailed action plans defining resource requirements and performance measures, and aligning work unit, supplier and or partner plans with overall strategic objectives. It is often done through a process called Hoshin Canary, that is, or a policy deployment. The emphasis organization-wide planning and setting of priorities, providing resources to meet objectives and measuring performance as a basis for improving, and it is essentially a total quality approach to executing and strategy. So here, as you can see the slide, a particular strategy deployment refers to, that is, developing a detailed action plan to achieve strategic objectives, ensuring that adequate and other resources, financial resources, are available to accomplish the action plan, developing contingencies should circumstances require a shift in plans, and rapid executive of new plans, aligning work unit, supplier or partner activities as necessary, and identifying performance measures of tracking progress. Now the links, the planners, that is, who focuses on doing the right thing with the doers, who is focusing on doing things right, that is, as far as strategy deployment is concerned. To do this activity in a particular perfection, we can see here for the reason for the poor deployment also, and as I just talked about Hoshin Canary or Hoshin Canary, which is a policy deployment which talks about a literal Japanese translation of Hoshin Canary is pointing direction. The idea is to align the entire organization in a common direction. In the US, often called policy deployment or management planning, emphasizes organizations' wide planning and setting priorities, provides resources to meet objectives, and measures performances as a basis of improving performance. Now, if you see this, even on a poor deployment, lack of alignment across the organization, misallocation of resources, insufficient operational measures, you can check this out. These are some of the poor deployment reasons. Now, talking about policy deployment process, you can check this in your textbook. It's particularly given very clearly and in detail about how this deployment process works for a policy and the corporate vision and the plan that executed, which is a figure talked about. As you can see, only the catch ball point is between the short term. This is called the catch ball point, that is policy deployment to the short term objectives, and then between the short term and the mid term objectives you have this catch ball, that is where the mid term objectives and short term objectives are made on a differences, as you can see in this picture also. But on the contrary, the catch ball, which as you can see the particular image here, when a corporate vision, long-term objectives, mid-term objectives, short-term objectives, which has the difference on project development and short-term plans to policy deployment again, and then going into mid-term objectives, which reverses back to the next short-term objectives. So this is the catch ball which I am talking about here, the departmental activities for the corporate activities. As you can see, the catch ball which is mentioned here, and then the project implementation and implementation reviews, which is the process deployment for a particular policy. Now, talking about the strategic human resource, which is a resource plan, that is example redesigning the work of organization to increase empowerment in decision making, team-based participation, promoting greater labor management such as unions or partnerships, initiatives to foster knowledge sharing and organizational learning, partnership with educational institutes to ensure future supply as that is of a well prepared or a well being of those employees. Now aligning HR plans with strategic objectives. This is a very good slide which talks about critical success factors and strategic objectives and human resource plans. Now, success factors of customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, market growth, world-class performances. That is how they relate to a human resource plan that is aligning with the strategic objectives. So please check this and try to read the textbook which mentions the detailed information about the critical success factors and strategic objectives behind this human resource plans. Now moving to the 7 management planning tools: affinity diagrams, interrelational diagrams, tree diagrams, matrix data analysis, process data, program charts, and arrow diagrams. To understand how the 7 management tools help managers to implement policy deployment and are useful in all other areas of quality planning, these tools are the affinity diagrams, interrelational, and the diagrams which are shown here. Now, to know that whenever an organization seeks to do something different, people are invariably impacted. Strategic objectives and action plans often require significant changes in human resource requirements, such as redesigning the work of organizations or the particular importance on jobs to increase employee empowerment and decision making, promoting greater labor management. Now, cooperation between the employees, modifying compensation, recognition system, and developing new educational initiatives. Now, to further learn, the effectiveness of an organization depends in substantial parts of its organizational structure. Now, the organizational structure, if you talk about, there are many things which we can talk about, but to limit it on those areas, let me just run you through the importance of affinity diagram, which is in particularly this talks about a customer's value. We have seen this affinity diagram earlier also in the chapter 3, I think, if you remember well, how an affinity diagram is made and how it is implemented. And you all must be having a very good clear indication of interrelation diagram, that is between customer service, work environment, production, ROI, customer value, and then how it takes in those important areas of work environment, product innovation, and customer value. Tree diagram, which again is like, if you can see, customer service with related to how it takes the feedback, improve order entry, reduce delivery time, improve technical support, or the strategies that can be put forth, install new computer, train customer, or empower customers. Then we have some other areas of metrics that shows on strong relationship, median relationship, and weak relationship of the particular work environments, or improve manufacturing technology, or develop new products. Same goes for matrix for a data analysis as such. These are some of the important, you can just remember these points on slide 6, the 7 management planning tools. And for you, the important points or review question answers or points could be, please go to the textbook, and the textbook, this 7 management tools or planning tools are clearly given, and you can read them. What is affinity diagrams theoretical? All the 7 tools are in detail given for your knowledge, what I have just explained. So now, process design, I mean, this is something, the same thing, arrow design also, arrow diagram, I'm sorry. Now, organizational design. Now, organizational design or performance excellence. This is to further learn the effectiveness of an organization depends in substantial part on organizational structure. The clarification of authority, responsibility, and reporting lines and performance standards among individuals at each level of the organization. That is, common organization structures are the line in the staff, and then how the matrix of the organization works, that is reflecting individual companies' difference and provide flexibility, ability to change. Then to examine this work system, core competencies like outsourcing, vertical integration, and then the performance and the guidance of strategic plan, work system, core competencies, outsourcing, integration, and so on and so forth. The factors that influence the organizational performance structures, as I just told you, line organization, line and staff organization, matrix of how the term is, and core competencies. Now, the work design system, that is, refers to how the work of an organization is accomplished. Work system is work referring to an organization accomplishment that is involving workforce, suppliers, partners, contractors, collaborators, and other components of a supply chain. That's what I just told you. Core competencies refers to an organization areas of great expertise that provide a sustainable competitive advantage at marketplace or service environment. Core competencies contribute to significantly to customer benefits, provide access to many products and markets, are difficult for competitive or competitors to imitate. Imitate means they cannot copy again. Examples of core competencies like quality of productivity practice, Toyota, Nordstrom, Apple, supply chain management, Dell, marketing branding, Procter and Gamble. So here, these are some of the important examples. Now, strategic work design, you can just study the same system as I just told you about outsourcing, refers to the practice of transferring operation of a business system to an outside supplier. Though outside, that is opposite of outsourcing, is vertical integration. I repeat, please understand this carefully. The opposite of outsourcing is vertical integration, by which certain business functions are acquired and consolidated within a firm. Work systems and processes must capitalize on core competencies. So this, we come to the end of chapter 11, students, and I hope I was able to give you much of the required help and share the knowledge with you, and hope you have enjoyed it, and take care, stay safe, and take care of your health. Hope to be back with you with another video very soon, and I will be back and take another class for you. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Stay safe. Bye.